I miss when times were simple. Greetings, mortals, I'm Larevo, and today I'm going to be reviewing a demo for one of the worst games on the PlayStation, Blasto. I don't have a whole lot of time today, so I'm going to keep this short. Let's just dive right in, shall we? Unlike most demos, which start out at the beginning of the game, this picks up in Episode 5 for some reason, where you end up fighting a bunch of alien insects. Now, the first thing I have to point out is that the controls are very reminiscent to most of the games I've been reviewing so far. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and Death Trap Dungeon, to name a few. Though, let's not talk about that game. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, Blasto is what happens when a drunk asks, hey, what happens when Johnny Bravo and Earthworm Jim have a baby? That's the best way to sum it up. Voiced by Phil Hartman, who hosted Saturday Night Live for 8 years, Blasto himself is a loudmouth playboy whose sole purpose, it seems, is to shoot aliens and rescue all the hot babes, while at the same time spouting out pointless catchphrases like Mario or Gex. And again, I must reference the similarity to Johnny Bravo, since that show started airing the year before. The biggest complaints about this game are about the controls and the unoriginal design concepts that inspired the game. Like, as I mentioned before, Johnny Bravo and Earthworm Jim. Or if you want to go even more mature, Duke Nukem. Now, with some of the crap I've been reviewing recently, this is a breath of fresh air for me. The controls aren't at all stiff or janky. The controls are incredibly loose, and it has that stupid back and forth motion that I complain about in most games recently, mainly because I just simply don't like it. But the one thing that causes me the most trouble in this game is that it took me 30 years to figure out that the jump button in this game is not a simple static tap it and you jump. No, this is one of those rare games where the longer you hold the button, the further you jump. And it took me this many years to figure that out. That's why I've avoided playing this game for so long. As a result, it took me this long to figure out that this demo has a boss in it. Or at least I think it's a boss. It might just be a mini-boss. But the boss is actually really easy once you get the pattern down. Now, what this boss does is really simple, yet annoying. He'll teleport, fire off a shot at you, which is hard to avoid for some reason. Then he'll teleport again. But his teleportations seem to be predictable, at least until you get to the final phase. It was around this point that I realized that you can charge your attack by holding down the fire button, which is really handy. Because charging your attack, as you would expect, deals more damage. One thing I have to point out is the respawn mechanic they put in this game. Normally in a game, you die, you start back at the beginning of the level. There are some games that will start you back where you were when you died. This game does both. If you fall down a pit, you'll restart at the beginning of the level. But if you die in like a firefight by taking too much damage, you'll respawn right back where you were. Which you can use to your advantage here by simply letting the boss kill you when you get low on health, then come back and deal the final blow. Yeah, I just blew his head off. As you saw here, you can use health power-ups to the same effect, and it'll still get the job done. Shut up, Blasto. I have to make the distinction between the demo and the main game. I have never actually played the real full game, so I don't know where the full game picks up, where it's different, and where it's similar. But I will say, the demo isn't bad. It's a very crappy learning curve. And yeah, the shootouts can get annoying. But the most problematic part of the whole thing for me is the jumping. That combined with the collapsible platforms like you see right here. I have this problem with the Greek mythology level in Gex. And because of that, I have not been able to do anything in the Greek mythology level in Gex until just recently, which you saw in my Phantom Menace review, that little clip I recorded. But again, the demo itself isn't bad. It's not a great game by any means. It is not a good game. But compared to some of the stuff I've been playing recently, it is as I said before, a breath of fresh air. Although Blasto as a character is incredibly lame, stale, and generic. Again, Johnny Bravo, Earthworm Jim, Duke Nukem, Mario, Gex. I could go on and on and on. But I'm gonna stop there. I'm dreading when I eventually have to play the main game. I apologize for the brevity of this video. I was sick at the initial time of recording, so I didn't get as much footage as I would have liked. But all things considered, I still think it turned out well. And I do have something big planned for Christmas, if I can get it done in time. If not, it'll come in January. Either way, we'll see. Thank you for tuning in with me and joining me on this journey. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you, and God bless.